All right, all systems go. Let's do this.
Woo.
Hello there, fellow headbangers, and welcome to Hot Rock, where we talk about music in general and rock in particular. I'm your host, Danny Rexon, and joining me today again is the one and only Chez Kane. Yeah, I told you. I told you I was gonna get some applause for next time. It always
Yeah.
felt so strange when I introduced someone and there was just silence. So, even if there's a bunch of you here, watching this, commenting, it's not the same thing if you don't get that kind of live feedback. I'll probably have
It
canned
felt, it
laughter
felt good.
for. Yeah, I thought so too. I'll get some canned laughter as well for the jokes for next time, but I didn't do that for now. All right, Chez, how are you doing today?
I'm not too bad. I'm blown away about the feedback from the album. It's going good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm recovering from an awesome gig last night.
Right. Yeah, and we'll
Um,
talk about both of those things. I think, because for those who don't know, your album, your second album,
yes,
Power Zone, was released.
there it is.
Yeah,
It
just yesterday,
was.
uh, coinciding with the release of another female artist, Taylor Swift, also had her album, but that's not as important. That's
No, no, it's
that's
not
not
important.
nearly as important.
Shh.
No one cares about that release. Uh, so how are you feeling now? I mean, it was a bit odd because you went to a gig last night as well. So you didn't
Yeah,
really celebrate the release of the album,
I'm just saying that celebrating by watching Eric on stage is brilliant.
right?
So I celebrated in a good way.
And when you say Eric, you mean, of course,
Skid Row, Eric. I don't know how to
right?
say his last name properly because I say Gronwall, but it's not, is it?
Well,
Is it
I would
Gru?
also say it that way. It
Oh,
really
okay.
depends on where in Sweden you are as well. We have a few different dialects. I'm from the south of Sweden, so I would say Grönvall, whereas he himself, probably from Stockholm, would say Grönvall.
Okay,
So
because I say Gronwall.
yeah, and I mean that's I think what people will probably recognize him as usually.
Yeah, well, he was absolutely amazing last night on fire, as you
Right.
can imagine.
And you saw Heat the other day, the same venue.
Different venue. So I saw Heat in Swansea in the Patty Pavilion. And then I saw Skid Row last night in the uni in Cardiff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Eric Grönvall was recently in Heat.
Yes.
So without making any like mortal enemies or anything, who, in your opinion, was the better one in Heat?
Shh. Don't ask me
Okay,
questions like that.
which of the two gigs did you enjoy most? So Skid Row, Heat.
Well, everyone who knows me knows that I have like been inspired by Eric for ages. So
Right.
nothing against Kenny at all because he's fantastic. He really is. But I don't know. Eric's just, I don't know. He pulls at my heartstrings. He's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So you're not really there for the bands. You're following Eric wherever he goes. You'll go.
Pretty much.
So yeah, right. We'll see where he ends up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is not the end of his journey because he's got so much on his plate always, and such a talented singer. He
Yeah.
can go really, really far. I think.
It's not just following him though. I did go and see Heat without him.
Oh yeah,
And I did see Skid Row before he joined. So
right, right. I think I've only seen Skid Row a couple of times, and that was with back with Johnny Solinger. Was he called right? So that
yeah.
was yeah, that was a few years ago.
I just seen Chez as Eric Stalker. It's not that. I just appreciate a good singer, okay?
So people are mentioning some live dates here,
Yeah.
and I can say already straight away that we won't be doing a live stream next week, right? Because both you and I will be on tour.
I'm not actually gigging on the Saturday. I'm doing Thursday and Friday, but I'll be recovering. So
Great, great. And I'll be in France for the first time, so looking forward to that as well.
That's cool.
So no live stream next week because we do have a real job as well, and that is of course being out there and touring and playing for you guys whenever possible.
Yes, 100%.
So Shez, I was looking through some stats just quickly on the streaming stats, and I can say we haven't got anything from Spotify concerning the release day, but I can see already some indications about some songs. There's two songs mainly on the album that are outperforming.
Can I
You know,
guess? Can I
yes, and I
guess?
want you to guess. Actually, there are two songs that are outperforming the other ones.
And the only reason I'm going to guess is because I've seen a lot of comments come through.
Right,
So I think it's Children of Tomorrow Gone, 100%.
right.
And then this one surprised me a little bit because I thought, like, I love this song, but I didn't think that people would like it as much as something like Streets of Gold then. But
Right.
Guilty of Love. Am I right?
And you are correct.
Oh
You
my
are
God,
correct on
yay!
both of them. Yes. And this actually surprised me because I'm just going to check this so I'm not wrong about this, but they should be the two longest songs, right? So Children of the Tomorrow Gone, 6:16, Guilty of Love, 8:11, because I didn't know when to stop, soloing in the end of that song. And this surprised me because, especially early on, when you release an album, people tend to kind of listen more to the short songs. Those are usually the ones that you have as singles, due to that fact that they're short and to the point. But it's actually the two longest songs on the album that are outperforming the other ones,
No,
which I
that's
think,
mad.
yeah, and I think it maybe is like a testament to a lot of the rules that you used to have back in the day maybe are just out of the window. People listen to other stuff
Yeah.
in this day of streaming.
Well, I remember when I first heard Guilty of Love, because you didn't add the ending on at the beginning.
No,
And then when I actually heard the full song, I remember being absolutely blown away by it.
yeah,
And I'm hoping that that's why, it's like it pulls at your heartstrings a bit because the ending is really, I don't know, it's quite emotional. You've done a really
yeah.
good job at the end of the song. So
Thank you, thank you.
I'm very, very pleased that people love that song.
Yeah, me too. I was also surprised by that. I mean, Children of Tomorrow Gone is a personal favorite of mine. um, and I do like Guilty of Love as well, but I wouldn't have imagined that it would go down as well with the fans. So really happy about that. Whose idea was it to make the album cover have a used look? I actually, yeah, it was my idea, and I stole it basically from, a lot of these kind of synthwave bands do that. So they, of course, only release stuff digitally usually, um, but they still have that kind of weathered look to the album covers when you see them on like streaming sites. And I thought that looked very very cool, and really gave an '80s feel to it. And it seems to have gone down well with the fans as well. You kind of get a throwback to the '80s just by seeing that worn
Yeah.
out vinyl cover.
I'm just seeing that someone said they love Rock You Up as well. Definitely Def Leppard inspiration in it. Now,
Nah,
guys,
nah.
Def Leppard have just announced a tour,
Ooh, yes.
and I want to be on it.
I want you to be on it as well.
I think
Um,
everyone needs to go and hound Def Leppard and say, Chez, Kane for support. Woohoo!
yeah. One of the people watching this has to know someone who knows someone,
Know so, yeah,
Yeah.
who knows someone who
Have you
knows
heard of
someone.
this theory that everyone is like, what is it, 7 steps away from any other person on earth? Or actually, the saying is usually you're 7 steps away from the Pope or something like that. So you know someone who in turns knows someone who knows someone, right? So that should be the same thing for the guys in Def Leppard or their management or whoever. I would imagine the way to them is actually a bit shorter. So I bet there's someone here who, in a couple of steps away, knows them. So start working on this, guys. We need to
Yes,
get Chez as the support act for Def Leppard. You didn't mention
yes,
Mötley Crüe, by the way.
yes, I'm Motley Crue. Yeah, but
Yeah,
Def Leppard are they started this for me, really.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
yeah.
Yeah, I just found out that they will be playing. They will playing Sweden Rock Festival next year, where they've also booked Iron Maiden and Ghost. So I'm like, yes, I have to be there. That's like the, insane lineup. Probably the best one I've seen. Um, and I was a bit surprised because they're putting Def Leppard and Mötley Crüe on the same day.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I was like, yeah, sure, because they're touring. They're touring as a as both bands, so they'll probably have another date the day after, right? But then I
Yeah.
saw their tour schedule, and they're actually never playing 2 dates in a row. And I was just
Oh,
thinking, yeah, that's how I want to tour as well. Always have,
yeah.
always have a
The
day.
recovery day.
Yeah, sometimes they have like two or three. They're just, yeah, we'll travel and then we'll just take it easy for a day, sightseeing, and then play. They're on the entire tour. They don't have 2 dates back to back. That's the luxury you can have when you're Def Leppard, right?
Yeah, I was thinking that last night when I was watching Eric because he put so much in, and
Mm.
I'm like, I would be exhausted if I put that much energy in
Yeah,
after a show. He needs a break.
yeah. I mean, especially since he's had his issues with his health, of
Yeah,
course. But I know he was in very good shape before that. He's always been boxing and doing stuff like that. So
yeah.
um, that probably helps. But yeah, he's always like a full discharge in his live shows.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, Colin, shh, shh,
What is he saying?
nothing.
Eric, Eric, Eric. Okay, he's still picking up the crush on Eric Grunwald thing, right?
I'm just
Um,
fascinated. I think he's amazing.
so I think we kind of promised people that we would be doing some kind of Q&A.
Yeah.
The questions are coming in here real quick, but we'll just try and pick some of them up as we go along. I saw someone here asking about how many songs from the new album will you be putting on the live set.
Okay, shall I say, or shall I keep that a secret?
I guess everyone who wants to have it as a secret, spoiler alert right now, put something in your ears because Chez is about to say how many songs from the new album she will be doing on the live set.
I will be doing 6.
And I won't be showing it with my hands because that would be funny.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I'm just gonna do the hand motion.
So 6 songs from the new album, but I don't think we'll tell them which ones, right? We'll keep that a secret still. But
Yeah.
maybe you can figure out from some of the singles, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, drop some guesses and I'll see if you guys are getting it right or not.
Yeah, and some wishes, of course. Maybe too late for this round because you're probably rehearsed, but I mean, I know for a fact, and this is, I mean, we can't disclose some of these things, but apart from the dates that you have announced, there's a lot more in the works, right?
Yes.
So people will have chances to see you not only in the UK, but also in other countries throughout Europe. And
Maybe.
so sorry,
Maybe.
maybe I don't, or maybe she'll just be doing UK, maybe just the Wales tour, maybe just the local one, the local pubs in Swansea. Now I think things will really start to move for Chez after this album, uh, especially with the you know with the feedback that we've been having.
And especially when Def Leppard take me on tour with them, which they don't know about yet, but
Yeah, they don't
it's
know
gonna
it, but we
happen.
know. We
We
know
know
about it.
it.
Yes, it's going to happen. Are there any plans for this collaboration between Danny and Chez in the pipework for a third solo? We've just released the second one. Uh, I guess that depends on how many we sell. If I will bother with it. No, really, we've had a blast. I love working with Chez. It's very very easy. I can say that when there's just two people involved in a thing, and this is nothing against my band, but I think this goes for all bands. There's a lot more discussions and a lot more wills when you're like 5 people trying to decide on something, whereas this collaboration with Chez is a lot smoother when it comes to choosing songs and also she's been great with all the video making and everything. Even if I've kept her up until late hours recording stuff and worn down factory buildings and stuff like that. Um, but everything has been really really smooth. So I would definitely be up for another collaboration. But we'll see about that. You know, we don't know when and how. And as I said, we've just released the second one, so that's the focus right now.
I think it's a really good thing that people want another one already, though.
That is a
Yay!
that is a good sign. Yeah.
But no, not just yet. Not just yet.
So let me see here. Denmark, 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 please.
I would love to.
Uh, I think that's the answer for most of these requests. You know,
Yeah.
Chez would love to.
Yeah.
There's a thing called Copenhagen, Chez. Maybe you could consider that one.
Okay.
Do you know about it?
No.
I think it's a bit harder, maybe. It's more like a proper metal festival. But I guess they have rock acts as well sometimes. Maybe a duet with you and Danny on the next album.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Who knows? I have the exact same Coca-Cola glasses that Danny's drinking from. I believe, yeah, we're looking for some sponsorship here from Coca-Cola, so that would be lovely. I believe these are, you used to get these, I think, on McDonald's when you bought stuff. It was a really long time ago, but some,
Yeah, they used to give them away, didn't they?
yeah, at one
Yeah.
point you bought a meal and you got one of these. I like them.
My friend has just said a Starbucks tour. So if I go on tour, she wants to go to every Starbucks possible. And I've got my coffee here already.
Also,
But
another,
it looks a bit funny because it's got cocoa on top.
is that really cocoa though? Looks,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
just
say that.
sprinkle some on top. It looks wrong. It tastes good though.
If I was a producer, I would bring you guys to Brazil. Summer breeze, Brazil. That does sound nice. That does sound nice. Crazy Looks and Chez Kane for Download 2023, maybe. We've never played Download. Have you been at Download, Chez?
I've been once, yeah. Obviously never
Playing or
played.
visitor?
Visitor. And it was because of Alter Bridge. They got me there.
Yeah, but by the way, you haven't said anything about the new Alter Bridge. It was also released recently, right?
Yes, and I've only listened to half of it.
Right.
This is how much time I have right now. I could
Yeah.
not listen to anything. It's
As we
crazy.
said last time, she's been packing vinyls and signing stuff. I've seen it all over the internet, and I'm surprised every time I see it. You must have done like 500 of those. You know, between the CDs and vinyls and signed photos and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty exhausting, but I got them all out. I'm just hoping that they all arrive safely now because the second you drop them off, it's like quite worrying. I'm always like, please just like get them to the right places. But a lot of people have had them, so
Yeah.
fingers crossed everyone else will get them in one piece.
Grass Pop in Belgium, yeah, of course.
I've
I
got a
have the
list.
pepper as well.
I've got a list of albums that I'm going to listen to when I start going out on the road when I'm traveling.
Yeah,
So
that's a good opportunity too.
yeah,
Kinda
catch up with
on those.
everyone.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you're ever in doubt, of course, you can check out the Hot Rock playlists. You know, I keep
Yes.
that, and that goes for all of you viewers as well. If you want, if you're on a desktop, you can scan this code. I imagine it'll be hard if you're following this on a phone or something, but if you're
Screenshot
interested,
it now.
yeah, screenshot it and do it later. The Hot Rock Top 20, of course, with the new Chez Kane, but I also have some Skid Row stuff and other, you know, I try to keep it updated. It's a list of rock songs that you probably won't hear on a lot of the like mainstream Spotify channels. So do check it out and give me a follow if you like it. I'll try to keep it as updated as possible. All right, Chez, do we have any other questions here?
Did Chez already learn some Swedish? I tried. I just can't pick it up. I can't pronounce it very well.
I mean, the grammar for an English-speaking person should be fairly easy, but as you say, it's the pronunciation that's probably the main problem.
Yeah.
But I'll teach you some Swedish next time.
You can try.
We'll see.
Hey Chez, your package arrived today. Everything is awesome. Please do a few shows in Germany. Oh, I'm really glad they arrived safely. Thank you so much for the support. I know you've bought the gold, silver, and the CD and the Japanese version. This guy has bought all of them. So
Nice, yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for the support. I'm glad it got there safely. And
That's
yes,
That's really
Germany.
nice. Oh yeah, sorry. Just about the people buying, multiple versions of the album. Really warms the heart when you hear, some people even. I don't even have like a vinyl player or a CD player, but I bought them anyway just to support the band or the artist. That's just so great to hear. Even if people will stream it on Spotify, they still buy the physical product, which of course is important for us. Makes it
Yeah.
possible for us to do this.
I had a really
Um,
nice comment the other day saying that he never listens to CDs but wanted to support, so he bought it, which
yeah,
is really, really cool.
yeah, yeah.
And
But I mean,
someone's,
it could be a
Karen.
collectible in the future, so
Yeah,
maybe a
cool.
good.
Someone's just asked what the bonus track is on the Japanese edition.
Yeah, so if you
So,
bought like Frontiers albums in the past, you should know that it's usually like a acoustic version of another song on the album. That's what they do since a couple of years back. Is the Japanese out? It should be out on the same day.
yeah, I believe
Yeah.
it is.
Oh yeah, because you showed pictures
Yeah,
from
how
the.
awesome was
Yeah,
that?
that's Japan for you. I'm telling. I've just been there once, but I was blown away by a lot of things, and especially how they kind of tend to the bands and take care of them, and they're. It all feels like yeah, like you imagine stuff in the '80s. Still in a lot of those places, really, really great. So answering the question, it's an acoustic version of "Love Gone Wild," right?
Love Gone Wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kevin asked that, so that one's for you. Love Gone Wild. It's really cool as well. It's really cool. You should check it out.
Excited to play with Doro, John Norum, Crash Diet at the Glam Slam. Is that
Where's that one?
us or you?
Where's
I'm
that
not
comment?
sure.
Hang on, hang on.
Kevin Contreras. I
Bring
see
it
it
back.
here.
Oh,
I,
is that's not the Glam Slam, is it? Isn't that Stockholm Rock Out?
is that Doro?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
I'm on the same day as Doro and you're on the same day as John
as
Norum.
Crash Diet and John Norum. Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't actually be meeting, which
I
is
know.
a bit of a shame. I was actually talking to the promoter, and they tried to put us on the same day. We even talked about doing some kind of collaboration, but it was just so difficult to get all the bands because this is a festival that plays in Oslo and Stockholm on the Friday and the Saturday. So they kind of change lineups and do the same thing in both cities. So it's really hard to kind of combine the bands in another way. So this time we had to do it like this. So we won't actually be meeting with Chez Kane. Danny, what's your go-to instrument for writing songs? Also, do you think of me when you write the ones about love? Always, always, of course. Um, my go-to instrument, uh, actually, it used to be. I mean, it still probably is the guitar, but it's become keyboard and piano more and more, especially on the Chez songs. A couple of those have been like started on a piano. So the Children of Tomorrow Gone, for example, the kind of, can you say a piano riff? Can you say riff about piano? The piano part in the beginning that kind of started out that whole song, and that would I wouldn't come up with that on a guitar. So same goes for some of the keyboard driven stuff on the first album, which started out with keyboard parts. So it still is the guitar usually, but it's becoming keyboards more and more. It actually makes me think about one thing, Shez, because I was looking through the my inbox, and I saw that we're roughly 3 years from when we like first made contact, right? It was in
That's mad.
2019,
Yeah,
and here we are now with the second album out.
I know. Crazy.
Uh, so this about this time was when I actually wrote the first song that ended up on your album. I mean, there are older songs on your album, but that's when I wrote the first song that was intended for this project. And I actually looked back on the in the email, and I have an email here from early December where I sent you the demos the first time.
Are you going to
So
show it?
I'm gonna show it. This is not you singing on it though, and I'm hoping this won't get a copyright strike. I really can't imagine how it would, because honestly, this version is not out. Uh,
Should we tell people that if it does do a copyright strike, head over to YouTube if you're on Facebook?
no, this should really, really not. Nothing should happen here because this version it isn't out. This is the demo version. But I guess yeah, if something would happen, let's head over to YouTube. They're probably more chill about it. But this is actually the song that started it all, and it has one of those keyboard intros that I talked about. Recognize this one?
I still can't believe how you've been playing with me.
Strange to hear it with my voice on though.
Was it all just a game in your mind? I needed it bad, the love that I thought that we had, but it's over now. I'm through wasting my time. Tonight I'm gonna find something better than love, something better than us. Somebody show me the power. I gotta move on, 'cause it's never enough for me. Need something better than love, something you couldn't touch. I wanna know what my heart is for, so I'll move on, 'cause there's gotta be something more, but something better than love.
Yeah. So that was the song that started it all. You could hear the keyboard intro there. That's how I, came about doing the first song. This is what I sent to Chez. And what was your like initial thoughts when you heard this?
I think everyone else will hear exactly what I heard. I was so excited when I heard that song, and you absolutely nailed it. So it's like we should do a duet of this song because it sounds amazing.
Yeah, I agree that this actually sounds pretty good. I think we changed we changed the key for your
Yeah,
recording though. So
yeah.
I think I wouldn't sing as good as your on your version because that's a bit higher for me. But and I can also say if you would listen to other demos, I mean I put in some work into actually having this sound okay because I wanted to attract a singer with this demo as well. For some of the older the other ones, it was just like put together really quickly just to show Chez, my basic idea of the vocals. So those don't sound as good as this. But
But
it's quite nice to hear this old version. Thinking back to that time.
yeah, no, it sounds really good, and I can probably say that everyone in the chat would realize why I got so excited about doing this and why I put everything into it because the song's amazing.
Yeah,
And you did a really good job of it. So why you gave it to me,
thanks.
I don't know.
Well, I think it wouldn't have worked with Crazy Licks, to be honest. This is another side of kind of the melodic rock thing that uses a lot of keyboards, and there's hardly any distorted guitars in this. I think the guys in the band wouldn't like to play stuff like this. So I've always liked this though. So I thought immediately when I started writing this song, someone else needs to do these vocals. And when Frontiers approached me about this, I was pretty adamant from the start that it has to be a female singer. So many like solo melodic rock acts out there with male singers, but not too many with female. So,
Well, I feel
but
pretty lucky, I'm just saying.
yeah, and me as well. I'm really happy that I found you and that you wanted to do this. So I guess it's a lesson to all. Put up your stuff on YouTube. I found Chez just doing a cover of a Vixen song, and then that's how this collaboration started.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to.
Thank you for sending that message.
Yeah, I couldn't find that one though. I was looking for it, but I guess it's on Messenger, probably on Facebook, right?
Yeah,
So it's deep in there. We've had some messaging since then, so I couldn't find the first one. Yeah. Someone was asking about drum plugins for the demo. This is actually Reason, a program called Reason from Propellerhead, and these are like samples from. I took a lot of time many years ago to kind of rip old 80s albums that had intros where the drums are like by themselves. So this I don't remember exactly where this kick and snare are from, but they're from an old 80s record probably.
there's
Right.
been
Yep.
quite a few questions about a Crazy Licks and Chez Kane tour. United States, Germany, other places. I would love to. It's just if we could ever work it out. It would
I
be
think so
cool.
too. There's definitely a joint audience that would, like both of us. With the U.S. situation, as we've been through many times before, it is usually the visa thing that keeps a lot of bands from coming. That's why cruises like the Monsters of Rock cruise, for example, is way easier. And you'll be going there, of course, in April, right?
Yeah.
Not excited at all, I see.
No. I'm buzzing. I can't wait for that one. I keep forgetting that I'm doing it, and then I'm like, am I actually doing it? Am I going? It's weird.
Yeah, no, but I agree. It would be cool to do something together in the US and in Europe for that matter. We did tour some earlier this year in the UK, and I think it worked very well. So that will definitely be something for the future. Loving the bagpipes on Children of Tomorrow Gone. Yeah, I was a bit hesitant to do that from the beginning because I know that people's opinions about bagpipes usually aren't the most positive, but I thought it fit well.
Yeah, I
And
love it.
of course, naturally, it's not real. I didn't get a person to actually play it. It is a sampled bagpipe, so I mean, it is someone playing it, but not actually this melody. So it is a plugin, which isn't a easy thing to find. I can add. Bagpipes aren't the most popular instruments out there, so I had to look around quite a bit for it.
So already said it before, but I'll see Vixen in a few hours. That's awesome. If I meet them, I'll tell them to take Chez on tour, but not touring at the same time as Def Leppard then. Yes, that would be good.
So you've already have 2 support slots then. You're doing Def Leppard and Vixen next year.
Yes, that would be
Awesome.
good.
Bagpipes didn't hurt AC/DC. I agree. I like bagpipes. Being Scottish, I love the bagpipes. Yes, I do think it's like an Irish bagpipe though. When I was looking for these, I kind of learned more about bagpipes than I wanted to know. So so this is like an Irish version. It's not like a Highland pipe, but something else. It sounded better. I just chose among many different ones that I could pick out. I like the bagpipes. Yeah, cool. Bagpipe discussion. You don't get that too
Yeah,
often.
everybody's loving the bagpipes.
Yeah.
Will it just be you and Harry Chez on the Monsters of Rock cruise, or is the whole band going? So it is a whole band. I don't know what the actual lineup of my band will be right now, but yes, Harry will be coming. And yeah, when I can figure all that stuff out, I will be looking into it. But right now, I haven't looked too far into it yet. But it's going to be Harry's last show with me before he swaps over to Taikedo. So that's cool.
Twitter. Ooh.
I mean, he'll still do shows with me when he can,
Yeah.
but if they clash, then yeah.
But won't Taikedo be on the boat as well?
Yes, so it's their last show as well. So they're kind of like swapping
Cool.
over. So it's pretty
Right,
cool.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll do like a guest appearance. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? He's put a sad face on. I'm like, yeah, you're going to be playing for Taikedo, and you put a sad face. Yeah, whatever.
Danny, can you cover a Bon Jovi song? I think that would be great. I've had, thoughts about doing covers. I don't think my strength is in the singing. To be honest, I have always considered myself a better like songwriter than a singer. But I used to warm up to a lot of Bon Jovi songs, like karaoke versions of Bon Jovi songs. So as you may have noticed, I'm starting to like post more videos, doing more stuff on YouTube, and trying to get into that game. And of course, doing covers is among the things that I've considered and thought about. So I wouldn't rule it out. And if I do covers, Bon Jovi is definitely one of the bands that I would consider doing. So maybe it just depends on how much you want me to do it. Really, let me know.
I think you should give it a go. Why not? So where it all started for me.
Yeah. So you mean like I put on a Bon Jovi cover song online, and now that Bon Jovi can't sing for himself, the band will approach me and,
Yes.
Danny, do you want to sing for Bon Jovi? Richie Sambora will put some people together, and I'll do the vocals. Cool, yeah, sounds like a plan.
You'll have to change the name to Danny Jovi.
Danny Jovi. And if I do that, I promise to bring you along as the support act.
Yes. Thank
So you have now Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, and Vixen planned
This is
out.
going well. This is going well.
Very well, very well.
I think you should make female band. Well, I'm open to that as well. Never know.
We're not sexist here, right?
Yeah.
We don't have
Exactly.
anything against girls.
No, exactly. Just whoever can fit at the time of the shows, and when I put bands together, it's always open to
Yeah.
seeing who can play. So
I mean, the reality is there's still a lot more like male musicians in the rock genre than female ones. So, if you kind of go out there and try to attract new musicians, it's usually guys answering.
Yeah.
But I also think it would be cool to have more girls in the band.
well, in the beginning, when I was asking for musicians to come forward to play in my band for the gigs I had coming up, no female guitarists,
Yeah,
drummers, or
yeah.
bassists came forward. So it's a shame, really.
They're
But
afraid of you.
no,
No girl wants to go near the force of nature that is Chez Kane.
no, that's not true.
Danny, did you actually play the sax on Love Gone Wild? Yeah, we had this question up a stream a while ago. So I'm not playing on the album version. I would never play saxophone on a recorded. I can play the melody with some trouble. So when we're doing the video, I can do the sax parts, but it wouldn't sound the way you would want to on an album. So that's actually a guy called Jesse Malloy, who's like a session saxophone player for Fall Out Boy and The Midnight, among others. He also did the saxophones on the first album. So all instrumentation by me except the saxophone and the bagpipes, of course, because those. Well, it is me actually. It's a keyboard bagpipe. So. When we're gonna get the new Crazy Licks album on vinyl? The new album is on vinyl. You mean Street Lethal, right? That came out on vinyl when it was released, and I think now all of the albums have been released on vinyl, I believe, or maybe not Forever Wild. I'm not sure, but I think usually now Frontiers release vinyl and CD at the same time. When the album comes out. Are you reading the last one?
Yeah. Are you reading the same one that I'm reading, though?
Will
About Harry and James.
still be friends? Yeah.
Will Harry and James still be friends after 3 minutes of guitar challenge every night at the end of Guilty of Love? I don't know. Harry's in the chat. Will you, Harry? Will you still be friends?
Those kind of guitar heroes that James and Harry, I mean, the playing there isn't all that interesting or impressive. So they'll probably just be shredding over the whole part just to show off over each other. That's probably what will happen.
The good thing about James and Harry is that they are both absolutely phenomenal, but they've both got their own style. So they're both quite different players, and it really comes across. So they bounce off each other really well on stage. So
they're also already enemies from rehearsal, they say. So
No, they're doing fine. It's all good.
It can't get worse than that.
They are literally so much alike, but their playing styles are so different.
Hmm.
They're like brothers from another mother. Honestly, it's weird.
I would like to see Crazy Licks and Chez, Kane in Canada. Canada is also, yeah, it's one of those places you don't hear a lot about it, but naturally there has to be a big market there as well. You know, people usually mention the U.S. only, but Canada would be great too. But I believe the visa situation is similar in Canada, which makes it difficult, as I said.
Yeah. Well, we're taking in questions, but I've got a question for everybody in the chat. So I know we said earlier that the two songs that are showing the most plays at the moment are Children of Tomorrow Gone and Guilty of Love. But in the chat, which ones are your top three at the moment? That's a hard question.
So we're talking the new album only now, right?
Yeah. On Power Zone, the album, my brand new album, which I'm going to plug right now.
Oh, you have a new album out?
I do.
I didn't know.
I do. I have a new album, and it's so beautiful. Check it out. Like, you can see the reflection on the chat.
It does look nice. I've always enjoyed the vinyl covers. They're really, really great.
Yeah,
Just
that's
the
cool.
size of them.
So let me know what three are standing out to you at the moment. I'm interested. Because obviously I'm putting some songs into the set, so I want to see what people say.
All right.
Yeah.
Still possible to influence the live set.
Yeah. So who designed the cover?
Well, it's not a lot of design, to be honest. It's just a real cool photo of Chez. We did a photo shoot back in was it in May, right? When you were over first time?
Yeah.
For the first video shoots. So we did a photo shoot where we did a lot of the promo shots that you've seen online. The ones with the pink background and the blue background as well.
Yeah.
And when Chez arrived in May, we didn't have an idea for the cover other than I wanted to feature Chez on it because that's how I think a solo album should be. The solo artist should be on the cover. But other than that, we kind of just did a couple of photos and hoped for the best. And then I found the ones with this outfit among all of I think we did like 2,000 photos or something. So it was a lot to go through. And these where we hung, it's actually not my guitar. It's actually Jens's guitar. So the guitar player from Crazy Licks, that's his Charvel guitar with my strap though. And I think it all came together really nicely with the background and everything. So we decided on doing that. And luckily we had a lot of other photos from the same shoot. So I don't know if did you show the back of the vinyl? Do you have it up? Yeah. So that's from the same photo shoot as well. And the inside of it and all of the press photos that went out in the promotion work. So they're all from the same. So when it comes to the design work, I actually just added kind of the sticker and the worn vinyl look to make it all come together.
Yeah, we didn't really have an official plan for the cover at the start, did we? It was just
No.
it just
But I like
happened.
it. I like it a lot. I like how it came out. It really, I like to see an album cover and kind of immediately know how the music will sound, and I think this really, really shows that straight away. There's no doubt about it. So
Yeah, you've got a really good eye for this kind of stuff because I completely agree. And every time you've sent me stuff, I've just been like, it's amazing.
thank you. All right, so there's a lot of stuff coming in here with the songs. I see.
Yeah.
People are
So
saying,
one or two have said three that I'm actually doing in the set, so that's cool to see.
right.
So a lot of I Just Want You, Power Zone, Rock You Up, Love Gone Wild, Things We Do, Children, Nationwide. Oh, you've said all of them, guys.
This is cool as well. Colin says here, I thought the Power Zone single picture was going to be the cover. And I think that we kind of teased that. But we knew from the start that it wasn't supposed to be that. So that was released as a standalone cover, and that was back in May. So it was really really early. That was just after the album was mastered and completed. Um, so so
Oh,
yeah,
that was one thing that we disagreed on.
I had another suggestion, right? An older photo,
Yeah, the original photo that you wanted for Power Zone, I wasn't fussed
right?
on, and then we
Yeah.
changed it. So that's the only thing that we've probably disagreed on.
Yeah, and that wasn't a long discussion either because you just took some photos the same day, right? And those turned out better. So I agreed with you as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we wanted to have like the face paint look. We were actually talking about having the kind of war paint thing on the album cover as well. We ended up never doing a photo shoot with it on though, but maybe we will in the future. I thought it still looked really cool and unique, so. Um,
Yeah,
Maybe
it
we'll
was
use
cool.
that at some other point.
Yeah, it was cool.
Loads of singers started using face paint thinking it was going to be a new trend. Right.
I'm gonna see you live on Stockholm Rockout. Oh, that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm gonna be starting to book up all the traveling for the European shows that I have coming up very, very soon. So it's gonna be stressful, but good.
Mm,
No, I can't wait. So I'm going to Belgium first,
right.
after the UK dates. I'm gonna be singing with Nesta as well, which is really cool.
Right.
Um,
But you're
yeah.
playing one of the dates, right? And then you have a duet with them on the other day.
Yeah, so the Friday night, Nesta are headlining, and I'm going to get
Mm.
up and do tomorrow with them. No pressure.
So
And
you're the
then,
new Samantha Fox then,
yes, why not? Just dye my hair for the night.
right?
And then the next day, I've got my set then. I think I'm on quite early though. I think I'm on early afternoon on the Saturday.
Yeah. But you mentioned you're doing 6 songs from the new album.
Mhm.
Do you ever like on these festivals, do you ever have like really short sets? I mean, sometimes with Crazy Leaks we play like even 30 minutes at some festivals.
Yeah,
How,
so
how are you going
on,
to go about then?
I have no idea.
Do you have any
I
like must-do songs from the first album?
It's really hard to decide. From the first album, yes, must do Rocket on the Radio.
Hmm. Yeah,
Because a lot of people love that song and it's a good crowd participation song. So
yeah,
always that one. I really like doing Get It On and Ball and Chain as well because they are the more like uplifting crowd
right.
participation songs, and I always feed off the audience. So, but
Yeah.
Better Than Love, I love doing as well because obviously it's my favorite song of the first album.
Mm.
But yeah, it is hard. It's hard to decide. It really is.
First
So
world problems, though, isn't it?
yeah, and now I've got 2 albums. I mean, come on,
Oh,
it's
that makes
really
it hard.
hard.
We just released. I mean, just a year ago we released our 7th one. So imagine putting set lists together when you're doing that, and when we have like 3 or 4 songs that we have to do, or people will be angry. So, but I guess it goes
Yeah,
with the
it's really
territory. That
hard.
it is a pleasant problem to have, really. So it's not too bad.
Yeah, and the weird thing is as well when you're like when there's more than one of you. So obviously I have my favorite songs, but then the band like certain songs. They like playing certain songs. So then they say, "Oh, we should do this one," and then I get really confused. Then I'm like, "Well, what do people want to hear? I don't know."
But you are the dictator, right? You have the
Oh
last
yes.
word.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, of course. It's always good fun though, trying to pick out a set list.
Sorry for the off-topic question, Danny. How did it happen that you recorded the song "Out in the City Lights" with Midnight Danger and Kane Roberts? Um, yeah, that was a cool thing. Actually, it was first first it was like a favor that I owed to Midnight Danger because he did. For those of you who don't know, he's like a synthwave kind of dark wave producer from Brazil originally. He's living in Stockholm now, and he did a. I requested a like synthwave version of "Breakout" from the Forever Wild album. So that's out on YouTube if you want to watch that. Um, and in return, he wanted me to sing on one of his tracks later on. So about a year later, he or 2 years later, he approached me with this song "Out in the City Lights." And I thought it sounded really, really nice, and I was looking forward to do it. And then he mentioned that he also got Kane Roberts to do the guitar solo on it, which made me really excited about doing it. So basically, it was a favor, a returned favor to a guy who helped us out earlier. And I mean, I'm always up for collaborations. So if you have any ideas on something you want to do, just drop me an email. If it's a fun project, I'm not too hard to get on board, I would say. Danny, when you have some time, please listen to my band. I tell you about in 2 lives ago. We will send you new material soon. We're recording a song, Velen Band, remember? Not sure I remember the name, but I try to listen to all the stuff that gets sent to me. I can't always, answer to everything in like a short span of time, but I try to listen to as much as possible. So do send over if you have stuff. I'm always looking for, talent or songwriters to collaborate with. So just drop me an email. There should be one in the description of this video, and I'll check it out.
I got a question from Ian. Chez, will it be possible to get an updated photo with you after Thursday's gig? The one I got there last time is really bad of me. You, of course, as photogenic as always. Oh, I thank you. Yes, of course. I'm going to come out after every show and see as many of you that I can. So, yeah, that would be cool. But I'm sure the first photo was fine, Ian. I'm sure it was fine. So that was taken at the last gig that I did with you guys in London, I believe, because that's where I am on Thursday. So it should be cool. I hope people turn up. Just like I've got this nightmare that no one's going to turn up.
You never
but
know.
We'll
these
do
things.
the show anyway.
At least this time I will know who does the song with Nestor. I saw them at Sabaton Open Air. No idea who was the female guest. Probably a Swedish artist. I wouldn't know either. They do change the one they're doing the duet with a lot. I've only seen them live on the Monsters Rock cruise, and they had, I think, a Spanish girl with them on that one.
When is Chez playing in Sweden the next time? So I'm doing Stockholm Rock Out in December and Oslo Rock Out.
That's not Sweden, though.
No, I know, but it's the same weekend.
Right,
I got confused then. I was like, is Stockholm in Sweden?
Stockholm is, though, yeah.
Of course it is. You literally had me thinking then.
Oslo used to be in Sweden as well.
Yes.
That was like the biggest mistake Sweden did, was let Norway go. That was before we knew they had a bunch of oil, and now they're like the richest country in Scandinavia. Jokes on us.
I knew it was Norway.
You've been to Norway before, right?
I don't think I have.
No?
No, don't think so.
First time for everything. It's a nice city. It's a nice. Imagine Stockholm, but cleaner. Richer people, more Christian people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, more churches to burn if you're a black metal band. But that's basically like Norway.
Okay.
Yeah, sadly I can't go to Stockholm Rock Out because it's 18 plus. That's odd. Usually those festivals tend to be, you
14?
can go in but not buy at the bar. That's strange.
Hey,
Chez,
Chez, just setting up for a gig, but got you on my headphones. Congratulations on the new album, Love from Us All. Oh, thank you so much, Martin. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Al Powell again asks about the United States. What's the possibility of performing in the United States? I mean, not in the immediate future, but I would be very surprised if Chez doesn't make it over to the States at one point. As we said, it is difficult, but it's not impossible. So it all kind of depends on what kind of promoters and managers you get on board with it. But I would be surprised if you don't see her there sometime in the future.
I hope so. I'm getting quite a lot of requests for it, and it is on my bucket list. I've always wanted to tour over there, so fingers crossed something can be worked out in the future.
My question is there a plan for a new single video? Is there? Chez?
Is
I
there?
mean, we've done the videos that we set out to do for the marketing for the album. Um, with Crazy Licks, we have done videos post release at some point, and actually looking at the videos, some of the more popular ones were videos that were released post release. Um, so it doesn't it doesn't exclude the possibility totally to do something like that even after the album is out. But there's nothing planned right now. I guess if one of the song kind of blows up and becomes popular, there might be a point to kind of spread the word further. But we'll see about that. It's also a question of the budget, of course, and stuff like that. But it would be nice. I've had a blast recording these videos and editing these videos that we've done with Chez now. So I would love to do more.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. I always have fun doing the videos.
Show us your man cave, Danny. Well, actually, this exact view is the only view that isn't like really, really untidy. So if I would turn the camera around, you would just see like old clothes and stuff laying around. So I have to clean up before I can do that. But I can show you my man cave sometime. Uh, but it's probably smaller than you think. This is the studio room I usually do a lot of the work in, but it's not a very big place, but it's enough for me.
But the back wall is really cool.
The back wall over there.
Yeah, with all your posters is really cool.
Okay, let me show you the back wall then. Let me just turn this. Okay, so Chez is talking about this thing here. That's the brick wall. Oh, there we have the Accept album as well that we were talking about the other day. Yeah, so I've covered my ugly brick wall with some cool posters, 80s bands, 80s movies and stuff like that. Makes it more cozy in here.
No, it's really cool. You literally walk in there and I was just like, eh.
Now the camera is a bit off, I think. Let me just. All right, there we go. There we go. Weird Science, yeah, great movie. I haven't dared to watch it, as a grown up because I don't want to ruin the memory of it. I imagine it's not as good as you remember it, to be honest. Um, but there are good things about it. The poster looks good still. So
It's one of my friends' like favorite movies. She loves it.
it is a strange one, but especially the science part where just kind of cut out stuff and put it in a machine, and out comes this perfect clone of a woman.
Love it. Rex has said, Chez, any chance you will collaborate on a Crazy Licks album? You guys work really well together. Well, I have done backing vocals for you on the Street Lethal album,
Yeah.
which is cool. So you never know. See what happens in the future. Who knows?
Did see a Terminator poster there. Yeah, a lot of stuff from my childhood is up there, and a bunch of Crazy Legs posters as well, kind of woven into it. But there's like stuff from games and bands and movies mainly. What are your favorite horror movies since it's a spooky season? Right, yeah, it's Halloween. Halloween is coming up. Chez, what do you think? Horror movies, favorites?
Well, it's not really a crazy horror movie. It's quite like funny horror. But one of my all-time favorite movies is The Lost Boys. I have to watch it every October. But yeah, I'm always looking for new horror movies every year. Ones that stand out. I'm trying to think now. I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre the other day. And do you know that movie? I didn't even realize until I watched it again the other day, but there's so much screaming and just running in that movie.
That tends to happen when someone is splitting you in two with a chainsaw.
I know, but honestly, watch it because there's one scene where this girl is just being chased and it feels like it's about like 30 minutes long or something. It's crazy. And she just screams so much. I mean, if I was in that situation, I would do exactly the same. But oh god, it is like it's really crazy.
I haven't seen that in ages. I don't watch a lot of horror movies anymore. I think when you were a kid, those impacted you a lot more. I always liked Nightmare on Elm Street, so I was a Freddy Krueger fan when I was young, and of course Jason as well. We got a question here. What mic do you recommend for recording vocals, Danny? Is it a SM7B or the Aston Spirit that is the best one? You're using the Aston one, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the Aston Spirit. It's really cool.
I use the SM7B because I enjoy the fact this is a dynamic microphone, so you don't have to worry a lot about the sounds around. When I've been recording with a condenser microphone, it's kind of like you make a wrong step or you have like keys in the pocket or something like that, and you can hear it on the vocal take. Whereas a dynamic microphone like this, you can be a lot more like hard with it. You can almost sing like you would live. You can put your lips quite near it. So I prefer that one, and I know a lot of rock singers do it. But it is like a radio microphone really from the beginning.
So we've got a question here. Question to Danny and Chez. If you could collab or meet a musician of your choice from any era, dead or alive, who would you choose? Sorry, I've got some random comments coming in from someone here. It's just like
Yeah, I've seen that.
spamming loads of random stuff. But
We'll just block that. I think it's just random spam.
yeah, I think it would have to be Freddie Mercury. I think I would absolutely be starstruck if I ever had the chance to meet Freddie Mercury. And you?
I think I would go for not a like a proper rock star really. I would go for a like songwriting session with Desmond Child probably. I've always looked up to him very much, especially the rock stuff that he's done. Obviously I'm not following like the pop stuff that he does nowadays. And he's always been a songwriter that's been, into the kind of music that's popular for the moment. So when it was rock, he was doing rock. Before that, he started out, I think, on the Dynasty album with Kiss. So he did like disco stuff when that was popular. But I think, in the place, in the mood, and the mindset that he was in, early 90s, late 80s, Desmond Child, that would be great. I think we could do some really, really cool songs together.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
All right, so you guys, it's been a nice chat. We're now a bit over 1 hour, which is usually where we pull the plug. So once again, I want to remind you about the Hot Rock playlist. We got, of course, the new Chez Kane stuff over there. And some other fresh songs. I'll be updating that regularly. So go over there, head over there and give me a follow there. Also, comment on the video below, like, subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing more stuff like this, and I'm sure I'll have Chez on many times more, and other guests as well. If you have any suggestions for guests, please let me know as well. Give us a comment or drop us an email or on any socials or wherever you want. Just tell us what you need. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Have a great weekend, you guys.
Thank you for pre-ordering the album. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thanks so much. See you